It's a beautiful night for a ball game in Boston. The ball was flying out of Fenway a night ago and certainly helped the Blue Jays open this series with a victory. We'll see what's in store tonight as they take on a rookie left-hander for the Red Sox. So let us take you out to the ballpark, and that's where we find Dan Shulman and Joe Siddall.
Jamie, thank you very much. As you say, a welcome development for the Blue Jays last night. 3 home runs in the game for the Blue Jays. Some guys are starting to heat up.
Well, Davis Schneider was sent to the minor leagues due to his early season struggles, but it looks like he may have found something. Didn't get a lot of pitches to hit in the minors, but he did something to work on that swing. He has now homered in back-to-back games since his recall. Remember how valuable that bat was last season. If Davis Schneider can get going, he will help this team as they continue to move forward. But how about George Springer and his 300th career home run last night right here at Fenway Park? Not just this monumental home run, but George is heating up. They need his bat. He and Schneider both can really help propel this team forward as they try to get hot before the All-Star break.
Oh, and by the way, the at-bat everybody was talking about more than anybody else was the 14-pitch at-bat Miles Straw had early in the game. Plus, he made a couple of great catches. One coming in, one going back. The Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row over the Red Sox.
Dan, a late development, as you know. Max Scherzer was supposed to start. He's gone to the IL. Braden Fisher will open for the Blue Jays in a game you'll see next on Sportsnet.
Welcome to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet, and another beautiful night for a ball game here at Fenway Park. The Blue Jays taking the opener by a score of 6-1 last night, trying to claim a series with a win tonight, and again, bigger picture, trying to inch a little bit closer to the 500 mark, maybe even get over 500 in the coming weeks. John Schneider maybe with some final words of encouragement for his struggling star player, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., hoping to get it going here at Fenway tonight. And here's a look at the Blue Jay lineup, which includes a guy who loves hitting at Fenway Park. Davis Schneider had that monster series in his debut back in 2023, had a double and a home run in the game last night. Jesus Sanchez will get a start against the lefty tonight. He's out in right. Miles Straw is in there again in center, and they will be facing a rookie left-hander making just his 4th major league start. This is Jake Bennett.
Bennett is 25 years old. He stands 6'6" out on that mound from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was drafted by the Washington Nationals and traded to the Red Sox just last December. He is the number 6 prospect now, making his 4th start with the Red Sox. That ERA is up over 5. He was recalled in early May, made a couple of starts back to AAA Worcester, and again last Wednesday came back up and pitched against the Rays, allowing 4 runs on 5 hits. He is a command guy with both fastballs and an excellent changeup. Defensively for the Red Sox, Jarren Duran back out in left field, Cedon Rafaela in center, and Wilyer Abreu in right. A lot of gold in that Red Sox outfield. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa gets the start at third base. Caleb Durbin's been going through it a little bit offensively, so he's off. Meyer and Monasterio up the middle. Contreras at first, and Mickey Gasper gets the start behind the plate for the Red Sox tonight.
Boston at just 29-41 on the season. They are in last to the East, 14.5 back of the Yankees. The Blue Jays are in third, 10 back of the Yankees. And George Springer, again, that milestone moment last night in the 9th inning, home run number 300, the 16th active player to reach that number, his 7th on the season. And as we mentioned off the top, he is starting to swing it. Last 5 games, George hitting .353, and he's walked 7 times in those 5 games as well. A couple of home runs in that stretch. As you mentioned, not an overpowering arm. The Blue Jays have seen all kinds of 98s and 99s, it seems, in recent weeks. Bennett has only struck out 8 in 15 1/3 in his 3 major league starts. Had very good numbers, though. Very good numbers at AAA in 9 starts this year. The Blue Jays don't know a ton about him other than they've got the video and the metrics and all that, other than Davis Schneider, who saw him in the minors this year. We'll tell you more about that when Schneider comes up. 2 of the 3 starts for Bennett so far in his big league career against Tampa Bay. The 1-2 gets in on the hands of Springer, and he fouls it off up to 96 there.
Mentioned he is 6'6". He does get great extension, so even the 92 to 94 will play up, but he will get up, and we'll see a 96 on occasion like that one right there. But the changeup is his secondary pitch that he's got very good feel for as it fades away to righties.
Springer went around, and he is furious at the call from Manny Gonzalez at first. He did not think he went.
Well, that was the changeup right there that we're talking about, but George is livid. Wow. No way. Thought he held up.
Looked like he held up. Now the number 2 hitter, Guerrero, first pitch swinging, and he will ground out to the right side. 3-1 on the putout, and just like that, 2 down. So Springer strikes out, Guerrero grounds out, and now here's Kaz Okamoto up into the 3 spot tonight. John Schneider moved Guerrero up to 2, Okamoto up to 3. Kirk still 4, dropped Ernie Clement down to 5 tonight. Okamoto in his first ever game at Fenway Park last night went 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. Down and in, it's even at a ball and a strike. And I think we've seen in recent weeks as John Schneider tries to find a way to get things going. You know, Okamoto could hit 3, 4, or 5. Guerrero could hit 2 or 3. He's led off once. Clement has hit 2, 3, and 5 recently. Part of it matchup dependent, part of it who's swinging the bat well, part of it sometimes just trying to shake things up to get them going.
Yeah, I mean, this is a new look for a lot of these guys. That changeup right there, another good one from Bennett, is something these guys first time through will get a good look at.
Up high, 2-2. Bennett continues to throw harder so far tonight than he has thrown in his first 3 starts as a big leaguer. Okamoto reaches for it and fouls it off right side. Got that changeup down and away and did well to get a piece of it.
Throws a lot of fastballs between the 4-seamer and the sinker. The righties are going to get a lot of the 4-seam, sink, and the changeup, which we've already seen. Lefties will get a lot of 4-seam and sink, so sit on the fastball.
Bennett is in the rotation spot formerly occupied by Brian Bayo. Signed a long-term deal and has been an opening day starter for the Red Sox, but having a really rough year, and he's down in the minors right now. This is the spot that Bennett is in. 2-2 again. There's a breaking ball, and that one is pushed foul out of play.
And you can see how as a right-hander you really have to stay with that pitch, and Okamoto did just that. Easy one to give up on right there, and then he freezes you on the outside corner, able to waste it away.
Pitch number 8 in this at bat, and it's hit way up in the air to shallow left center field. It'll be Jarren Duran, the left fielder, to make the catch, and Bennett sets down the Blue Jays in order in the top of the first. The opener tonight, great. George Springer still unhappy. This is moments ago after he was called for that swing in his at bat and struck out in the first. Still not happy about it. A look at the lineup for the Red Sox, who are 25th in the majors in runs scored, a couple of spots behind the Blue Jays. They've got a very good hitter in Wilson Contreras, but he had a very bad night last night. 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts. He did walk once, but as you know, as you can see, he is dangerous. Rafael is having a very good year. Jarren Duran hit a home run last night, the only run for the Red Sox. And for the 5th time this year, Braden Fisher will open a ball game.
Braden is making his 37th appearance of the season. That now, as we speak, ties him for 2nd in Major League Baseball, behind his teammate Mason Fluharty. Fisher pitched on Sunday. He came in the 9th inning against the Yankees, and he gave up that big 2-run homer to Ben Rice. The first time he opened a game was back in Arizona. in the middle of April. So he knows how to do this, and he's been scoreless in his efforts.
And we don't know who's coming next. It could be Simeon Woods Richardson. It could be Chad Dallas, who is now on the big league roster, taking the spot of Max Scherzer, who went on the IL today with back spasms. And here's Mickey Gasper getting a start behind the plate and leading off tonight for the Red Sox. Takes a little bit up and in for ball one. Gasper, a switch hitter, will take some pitches. He can work you for a walk, and Fisher sometimes can be susceptible to the walk. The command can come and go. He's fallen behind 2-0. Now ball three. As you can see, he's done the job in this role. 4 previous times, has not given up a run. Here's his first strike of the night. Gasper asks for time. Parts of 3 years in the big leagues for Gasper. 2 years ago with Boston, last year with Minnesota, and now back with the Red Sox this year. He can catch, play first. He'll DH sometimes. Fisher battles back into a full count.
You said he'd work the count a little bit and see some pitches. Good leadoff hitter, I think, in this role too, especially against Fisher as an opener. Make him throw some pitches.
Up and away, and he does draw a leadoff walk. So the plan changed this morning officially. Max Scherzer on the IL with the back spasms. So Fisher opening, and obviously several arms to come after this. Here's Rafaela, who looks at a slider in a good spot. It's strike one call. Rafaela having a good year and had a good night last night. 2 for 5, a single and a double. Got some speed. He's an outstanding center fielder. And this one is lifted to very shallow right center field. Jesus Sanchez out there to make the catch for the first out.
Defensively behind Braden Fisher and the rest of the Blue Jays pitching staff tonight. Davis Schneider, big home run last night, gets the start in left. And Miles Straw, how about that glove last night? He's in center. Jesus Sanchez gets the nod in right tonight over Nathan Lucas. On the infield, it's Okamoto and Jimenez, Clement and Guerrero. And once again, Alejandro Kirk behind the plate. Good chance we see Mr. Valenzuela perhaps tomorrow afternoon.
So Straw getting a start against another left-hander. Dalton Varsho still on the IL, but there's progress to report with him. We'll get into that a little bit later on. And here's the number 3 hitter, Wilyer Abreu, who takes a curveball in for a strike from Fisher. Abreu with 276 on the season, 8 home runs, went 0 for 3 with a couple of walks last night. Fisher sneaks a peek at Gasper, the base runner, being held on by Guerrero. And now the 0-1. And a good fastball away, a swing and a miss, 0-2. Fisher's kind of the jack of all trades guy right now. He can open, he can close, he can give you more than an inning. He can come in the middle of an inning. Line drive to center. Straw sizing it up, and hardly has to move. 2 down.
And that is why Braden Fisher is so valuable. You can use him in so many different roles, and I still think the best suited role for him is coming into those messes, coming into those innings when there is traffic, and he can get a ground ball. He can also punch a guy out with those breaking pitches. Very, very useful.
2 down, and now he'll face Wilson Contreras, the most dangerous hitter of the Red Sox lineup. Last night's struggles notwithstanding. And we have our first sign of activity out of the bullpen. Simeon Woods Richardson has just gotten up. We'll see how it plays out. It will be his second appearance as a Blue Jay, and the first one was very good. Also 9 days ago. He is well rested. Fisher is back in the zone after losing Gasper. He's gotten Rafaela, he's gotten Abreu, and now he's 0-2 on Contreras.
Fastballs from Fisher can really freeze hitters because they're totally looking for spin, either the curveball or the slider.
The curveball blocked by Kirk. And to your point, Fisher throws between the two breaking balls. He throws them 78% of the time.
We talk so much about Alejandro Kirk and what he does on both sides of the ball. This is a glimpse at his defense. He's very good at blocking that breaking pitch right out in the middle of the plate, but he doesn't have to go left or right much, but takes it right off the chest protector, goes right down.
Just mechanically sounded the way he does it?
Absolutely. And
you're,
he does
you're
it
beaming right now.
I am, and he does it from the one knee stance. There's been a lot of criticism, of course, over the one knee stance, but with that breaking pitch right in front of him, he can get in a great position, and he did. Anytime you can prevent a runner from advancing 90 feet and getting in a scoring position, especially with a guy like this at the plate.
Well, and you know, all the Blue Jay viewers know it, whether it's Buck or yourself or Caleb, all catchers up here. So, you know, you guys are really focused on the defensive work the catchers do. That's fouled off. It remains 2-2, and now you're feeling the pain that Alejandro Kirk is feeling.
He is feeling that one. Not sure where he got it.
Contreras puts an arm around him and says, you know, I used to be a catcher, but now I'm a first baseman.
He's smart. Off the shoulder, maybe. Now, there's a chest protector. There's padding in that chest protector, but trust me, he still feels this right off the shoulder, and he may have even felt it right on the tip of your shoulder there by the end of the collarbone. Equipment has improved dramatically over the years. I will say that.
You can see him looking down at the feet of Contreras, watching his setup before he uses pitch count. He gives Fisher the pitch. Again, the 2-2. And it's not there. It misses just up, ball 3. So a full count on Contreras, which means Gasper will be running. Guerrero is still going to hold him on at first. And it's up and in, ball 4. The second walk given up in the inning by Fisher.
Tried to go back to that fastball. He threw one earlier in the count too, but just missing above the zone. Good idea, just didn't quite execute it.
You can see Pete Walker's on the phone, so you know, almost batter by batter, you would imagine. When do they bring in Woods Richardson? They'd love Fisher to get out of this and to give Woods Richardson a clean inning, I would imagine. Fisher will stay to face Jarren Duran. Hitting just .214, but he is a power threat. Last night's home run is 12th of the season. And a ground ball to the right side, backhanded by Guerrero, who will make the out at second. Throwing over to Jimenez to force the runner there, and that will retire. Well, over 30 years ago, the Blue Jays went back-to-back, and now the championship rings are finally yours to wear. On Saturday, July 18th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a set of 92 and 93 World Series replica rings. And don't forget to arrive early for the unveiling of the Joe Carter statue. Get your tickets now at BlueJays.com/tickets. No score, top 2. Jake Bennett and Alejandro Kirk. Kirk starting for the second night in a row and the 4th time in 5 games since he has returned from the IL. I think we would all imagine with a day game tomorrow, and remember, it's a day game tomorrow, that Brandon Valenzuela will be on the mound. A 1:35 first pitch for the finale of this series, weather permitting. Sorry. Might be a little dicey tomorrow. We'll see how it plays out. One from Bennett, and a swing and a miss again through a high fastball. 1-2. this Jake Bennett that we are seeing looks a little different than the Jake Bennett we have read about and looked at the numbers on. This is a bit more of a power arm than we thought there was going to be. A changeup down and away, but again, the numbers say kind of 93-ish, and we've seen a lot of 95 and 96.
And the extension is one thing, but a little deception probably too with that low 3/4 arm slot.
And a good changeup to get Kirk swinging for out number 1.
Good arm speed with that arm slot makes it look a lot like the fastball, and that's that fade I was talking about earlier, fading down and away to right-handed batters. Got Alejandro way up front.
4 up, 4 down with a couple of strikeouts for Bennett. And here's Ernie Clement hitting in the 5 spot tonight. Fouls one back right up above us. And it drops down into the lower deck. Ernie had a tough night last night, 0 for 5. 299 now on the season. Fouls another one back, 0-2. And I think Ernie, just a little look on his face right there saying, man, that's the one I needed to turn around. That was middle. Swing and a miss. He strikes out another one, out number 2.
Taking advantage of Clement's aggressiveness at the plate. Like he may have been trying to come up and in. It gets away from him, but still very effective.
Five in a row retired to begin his night now. 3 by strikeout. And now the first left-handed batter he will face tonight, Jesus Sanchez, getting the start out in right field. Nathan Lucas was out there with another lefty, Peyton Tolley, on the mound last night.
And again, the lefties, I think Sanchez and Jimenez, looking fastball.
And some frustration from Ernie Clement. 3-pitch strikeout. Tough night last night. It's a hard game.
Yep. That is for certain.
Sanchez lifts one a very shallow right. Monasterio, the second baseman, is out, and he'll make the catch. And again, Bennett gets the Blue Jays in order. We go to the bottom of the second in this scoreless game.
Well, we thought the Blue Jays rotation carousel was done spinning, but then Max Scherzer hit the IL today with back spasms after having something crop up over the weekend while he was throwing his typical side session. So we have Braden Fisher starting here today, a vacancy in the Blue Jays rotation. And isn't it convenient that Shane Bieber pitched for the AAA Buffalo Bisons today? He got up to that 80 pitch mark over 5 innings. The results weren't spectacular. He walked 4. He had a couple of home runs. Now he was sitting 92 with his fastball across all 5 innings with a drop off and stuff, so that's encouraging, but definitely a little inconsistent with his command. So what's next? Well, Bieber's going to meet up with the Blue Jays this weekend in Chicago, where he'll throw a bullpen and discuss next steps. The Blue Jays do have room to fit one more outing in before his 30-day rehab window is up, but the Blue Jays also have an opening in their rotation.
Absolutely, Arden, and if they feel Bieber is ready, the simplest thing is to just plug him into that open spot of the rotation, which would be Monday back at home when the Blue Jays open up homestand against the Houston Astros. Here's Masataka Yoshida, hits one hard left center field, and over is Straw to make a nice running catch.
Miles Straw having some fun out in center field over these last couple of days. Another fine play, shading Yoshida slightly to right field, but gets a good jump on it. No problem into the gap.
And that is the last out that Braden Fisher will record tonight. They wanted to have him face Yoshida, so he goes an inning and a third, scoreless. 5th opening stint this year, has not given up a run in any of them. Simeon Woods Richardson jogging in. So Simeon Woods Richardson now on the mound. He is going to make his 2nd appearance as a Blue Jay. The other 12 that you can see this year were as a Twin, and the one he had as a Blue Jay 9 days ago, maybe the best one he's had this season.
Had a really good fastball when I asked him about it after the next day. He said he was well rested. He had 11 days off after getting designated for assignment and then traded to the Blue Jays, but 12 games with the Twins, 10 of those were starts, and that ERA up over 7.5. So the Blue Jays trying to rectify things and help him out.
Facing former Blue Jay Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. That one just off the outside corner. It's 2-0. Richardson, I think the story fairly well known by now, drafted by the Mets, traded to the Blue Jays in 2019 in the Marcus Stroman deal. Traded to the Twins a couple of years later in the Jose Barrios deal. And spent a few years with Minnesota, kind of bouncing up and down between AAA and the big leagues. Did have 2 years where he was a regular starter for the Twins with kind of league average results. First strike, and it's 3-1 on Kiner-Falefa. This just his second appearance, and they want to get a good look at him, see what he might be. There's been talk of tinkering with the arsenal and the pitch usage and things like that. Well, that looked good, but Kirk won't challenge it. It is called low.
Wow.
Looked like it might have had the bottom of the zone, but no challenge from Kirk, and that's ball 4.
May have walked him on the pitch before, but he got another chance.
Yeah.
I thought Kirk might challenge that. Alejandro does such a good job at the bottom of the zone. Yeah.
Yep, would have been a strike. So 1 on, 1 out, and here's the second baseman, Andrew Monasterio, hitting .240. It's really interesting going back to Arden's report with now Scherzer on the IL. Bieber might be ready next time around. Chad Dallas is now on the roster. He can give him some length. But what does the future hold for a guy like Woods Richardson? He cannot be optioned. If they decide to make a move and he gets caught up in it, he would have to be DFA'd. They could wind up losing him, and they've had so many injuries. This is why having optionable pitchers is an advantage. You can move those guys up and down and hang on to the guys who you would risk losing if you tried to move them. But there are a few guys, not to say necessarily their appearance to appearance, but with Bieber coming back, Jimmy Garcia is going to make one more for Buffalo Thursday, John Schneider told us today. So could rejoin the team at some point in Chicago. Does Adam Macko have some runway to find his way back here? There are going to be moves still coming on this pitching staff, Joe.
You still would think, I would think, that you would love to have a second left-hander in the bullpen. I just like the look of it when Macko was here with Fluharty, just so you don't abuse Fluharty too much. They do have righties that can get lefties out.
Kiner-Falefa running, the pitch taken for a strike. The throw down by Kirk is not in time, and it's a stolen base for Kiner-Falefa.
Kiner-Falefa will run, and they tested Woods Richardson along with Kirk. Short hop throw, not in time.
2-2 the count on Monasterio. And he lines the ball to right field, right at Sanchez, who makes the catch for out number 2. And then unleashes a throw on the fly to third, but Kiner-Falefa not going anywhere. 2 down. The other guy who we haven't mentioned in this brief conversation we're having is Spencer Miles. And you know, we've all seen that he can give them length, but do they shorten him up a little bit, put him into higher leverage situations? Like, all of these guys in situations are kind of interconnected a little bit because you can only have 13 of them.
Yeah, we talked so much early in the season about Spencer Miles and the length that he was providing, using an opener at times, but he's a guy that you probably can't keep doing that with all year long. The workload would just build up too much, just hasn't pitched enough.
Now a pop-up off the bat of Marcelo Meyer. It is caught by Davis Schneider. A great play by Schneider and a run-saving play as well. Getting after it and getting to it to make a great...
Well, there's Something about Davis Schneider and Fenway Park, because every time you look up, he is doing something special here. Although it was funny talking to him after last night's game, and he said, you know, ever since my debut, I actually haven't hit well here at all. Here is the great catch to help Simeon Woods Richardson get out of that inning, and then we're going to show you the home run from last night that he hit off of Peyton Tolley. Now, it's first time up against Tolley. The lefty went with a cutter changeup to Schneider. Schneider was sitting four-seamer because Tolley throws a lot of four-seamers, and Schneider said, oh, that's not what I was expecting you to do. So he went back up for his second plate appearance, sat soft, got that 1-0 changeup, and hit it a long way. In-game adjustments for Schneider, who's getting it done on both sides, Dan.
Arden, thank you. And trying to make a case for himself to stay on this team. Remember, was in the minors, was called back up when Dalton Varsho went on the IL. Varsho could be back within a few days, but boy, has Schneider, that is, done himself a world of good in terms of consideration for staying. You know, John Schneider knows what Davis Schneider can do for this team. He had an OPS of almost 800 last year. That was funny. Schneider sometimes taps his helmet. I don't know if he was anticipating a strike call and was getting ready to challenge, but he is a bit of a helmet tapper. It's just kind of one of his things between pitches anyways. Line drive, well hit, left center field, and off the monster on a bounce. And Davis Schneider just keeps on raking here at Fenway Park.
Well, this is the bat we talked about. Davis Schneider and George Springer in the open. Get these guys going. This offense can keep going in the right direction. He got a pitch that he could handle. Got a lot of plate. The first pitch of this at bat was off the outside edge. It's a sinker. That's not ideal for him. He always tells me that's not the ball he handles well. He is all over this one, drilling it. Short hop to the monster.
What a positive development for this team this is, to see Schneider swinging the bat the way he is right now. Here's Miles Straw. They're in on the corners. Now remember, it was this situation last night.
Do you have time?
Yeah, when exactly this situation. Third inning, leadoff double, Straw up when he had that remarkable 14 pitch at bat with Peyton Tolley. Eventually hit a fly ball to right, got the runner to third. Springer got him in on a sac fly. Everyone in the dugout was just mesmerized by what was going on. Springer was standing on deck, marveling at it. Carlos Fablis, tongue-in-cheek, said to us before the game, it lasted so long he got bored coaching down at third.
Let's see what his first swing looks like. Remember, that's what we did last night. You can tell with his swing path if he's trying to do it. Get the ball to right field. Yep.
Like that. That is a guy trying to hit the ball to right field.
And now he'll go to battle. 2 strikes, but he's still going to try to do it.
You and I had a long talk with Springer about the at-bat before the game, and again, he marveled at it, and he said one of the things he liked best was the process, the thought process was bang on from the first pitch. You still got to execute. You still got to foul the tough pitches off. Can't do it here as Bennett gets him for the first out. Now Andres Jimenez, who, like Springer, like Schneider, also homered in last night's game.
Well, he was all over this pitch. He had doubled off Peyton Tolley in his previous at-bat. Off the monster to left center. He gets this cutter out over the plate. Pulls it to right center. Deep part by that Red Sox bullpen.
The home runs hit back-to-back by Schneider and Jimenez last night. The first time the Blue Jays have gone back-to-back all season. And including the home run by Springer, just the 6th time all year they have hit 3 or more home runs in a game. And 2 of the 6 were in the first week of the season. So as we said off the top of the show, this is a welcome development. Now, can it continue? We'll wait and see. There are some other guys who need to obviously pick it up in the power department, but you'll take it wherever you can get it. Schneider the lead out at second, and the 2-0 from Bennett in there for a strike, 2-1. As you mentioned, considered one of the Red Sox better prospects. Baseball America has him at number 6 in their system. MLB.com number 7. 3-1.
A lot of fastballs between the four-seamer and the sinker from Bennett to left-handers, but he did drop a changeup in there. He will do that on occasion. Don't see a lot of left-on-left changeups. It's a dangerous place because that ball's fading down and in to a lefty hitter. A lot of lefties, that's their rake zone.
That was one right there.
Yeah, and he went away with it. That's the spot to do it, because as a left-hand hitter, if you're out front, your barrel's already out there and pulling off toward the pull side as that changeup's on the other side of the plate. Perfectly executed. I think they know Jimenez is eyeballing those fastballs.
That's going to be a base hit into right. Schneider getting the wave. There will not be a throw to the plate, and the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead.
The bottom of the order getting it done again. Does that have a familiar sound? Talked so much about that last year. David Schneider gets it going, and a nice piece of hitting by Jimenez. Bennett does come back with a changeup, but look where it is. He misses more middle in. Didn't hit it real hard, but got it up over the head of Contreras at first base.
1-0 Blue Jays, and here's Springer. Struck out on a check swing call that he did not agree with to begin the ball game.
That's a perfect example, by the way, of a ball not hit very hard, but a great piece of hitting. It's not always. We know exit velocity is a wonderful thing, but that's just a good piece of hitting left on left.
Jimenez getting some info at first from Mark Budzinski. Andres is 7 for 9 stealing bases. Got a lefty on the mound in Bennett. The catcher Gasper, not known for the strength of his arm.
Big leg kick too, if you guess right.
There he goes. Taken inside and stolen easily by Jimenez.
There it is. That's all on Coach Mark Budzinski, the first base coach over there. He does all the preparation work before a series. You study the catchers, you study the pitchers, the tendencies. They know if they guess right. See how long that delivery was. They can run all day on the left-hander, and Jimenez did just that.
8 for 10 now, but a runner in scoring position for Springer. He went around, says home plate umpire Scott Berry, 2-2. Check the swing, and it's up and away, and the Bennett velocity has kind of come down a little bit more to what we expected. He was fired up in the first 2 innings, but not quite maintaining it here in the third, seeing more 94s. Saw a lot of 95s and 96s early. 3-2 now, and that hit him. And let's just hope it didn't hit him in that toe. He's still got that pad on. Remember the fractured toe. And he is looking into the dugout, and it appears everything is okay. But are you serious? He got hit in the foot again?
I think he's laughing because he was basically taking the pitch as if it was going to be caught by the catcher, and it just kept breaking right in toward him and got him. It's like he wasn't really getting out of the way. He was just taking ball 4 and then ran right off the toe.
Hit him in the back foot. I think if they made one of those pads for his left foot, like just put one on the right foot. The guy's a magnet.
How about those boots they were on construction sites with steel toes?
And a meeting on the mound. Andrew Bailey, the pitching coach, out to talk with the rookie Jake Bennett, again making only his 4th major league start. Can Guerrero have a moment here? He went after a first pitch sinker at 96 in the first inning and grounded out to first. An 0 for 4 last night. The other 25 guys in that room, not to mention the coaches and the staff I think they want it for Guerrero more than he wants it for himself right now. They are just dying to see him find a way to work his way out of this.
They want it for him, and they need it as a team. They need this guy to get going.
Runners are going. Guerrero takes it. The throw down to second, not in time. And the Blue Jays with a double steal.
Well, Jimenez and Springer take off, but watch Vladdy. He sees their jumps taking all the way. Take the bag, guys.
And now a fly ball gets a run home. You take the ground ball double play out of the equation. Some good things here. Fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Davis Schneider with a little bit of information on Bennett for Guerrero. On his way off the field after scoring the first run. Takes the changeup down, ball one. Schneider, the most info on Bennett. He faced him in 2 at-bats, 2 plate appearances rather, in AAA this year. Walked both times and saw 20 pitches in those 2 plate appearances. Again, the changeup comes in low.
Davis hit a sinker, and it was right in the middle of the plate, but they're very well aware now. The second time through, they know all about the sinker. They know all about that changeup. That's why Vladdy's able to lay off there.
Bouncer to third. A run will score. Guerrero is retired, but he gets an RBI as Jimenez comes in, and it's 2-0.
Well, you will take the contact and the run. Still not ideal by Vladdy, just chopping that ball, beating it straight into the ground. Not the swing that he's after, but it cashes in. Another run for the Blue Jays. You can see the frustration. He is not near where he wants to be.
Springer stays at second, 2 down. And here's Okamoto. Got a breaking ball, and he swings and misses 0-1. You still see the joy at times, obviously, from Guerrero. That's who he is, but you don't see it as often. Now, how about this? Springer going to third. And he is in safely. He steals third with 2 outs. And the Blue Jays have 4 stolen bases in the inning.
Well, this is, again, all about preparing for this series. You knew going into this game that, boys, we are going to run wild if we get the chance, and that's exactly what they're doing. Taking advantage of the left-hander on the mound.
Okamoto grounds one out to short and is retired. The Blue Jays along with him, but they do get a couple of runs, and Davis Schneider is in the mix again. Leading off the inning with a line drive off the monster on a bounce to left center for a double. It's 2-0 Blue Jays. The next generation of NHL stars is ready to take center stage at the 2026 NHL Draft. Will the Leafs take Gavin McKenna first overall? Find out June 26th and 27th on Sportsnet. Here at Fenway, Dan Schulman, Joe Siddall, Arden Zwelling, 2-0 Blue Jays going to the bottom of the third. Simeon Woods Richardson issued a walk, then got a couple of outs to end the bottom of the second, and he is out there, if things go well, for several innings as the bulk guy tonight. Leading it off is Mickey Gasper, who walked against Braden Fisher in the first. So let's go back to the stolen bases. The 4 steals is already the most the Blue Jays have had in a game this year, and they did it all in 1 inning. They did it once last year. Like, we do not see this team run very much, but this is not an accident. This obviously has to do with the combination. This is back to the mound, and the toss from Woods Richardson for the out. This obviously has to do with information and preparation before the game and conversations about, hey, with this combination, they feel they can be very aggressive.
Exactly. This is what you do going into a game. You go over the starting pitcher. You talk about all of his pitching tendencies, but one of them, that's where first base coach Mark Budzinski will come in. He will let you know of his tendencies. He'll let you know that this is a catcher that we can run on. As a left-hander, when you're stealing second base, you're generally going first move, so it can be a bit of a guess. But when you guess right, his delivery is so slow, it's easy. And then to perform the double steal, stealing third base, that's a tip saying, hey, when he comes set, he does this all of the time. He doesn't change it up. So all of that stuff is done ahead of time, and then once the game starts, if you can put it into action, you're just running around the bases, and that's what we've seen so far.
And you must really feel confident about it if you're stealing third with 2 outs, because that's the kind of situation where you say, well, you never want to make the first or last out at third base. You got to be 100% sure, and Springer did that. Springer not only hitting more recently, running more recently, and again, he's further out from that fractured toe, and maybe the whole, the whole thing's coming together for him right now.
That would be good news. It certainly looks that way.
A ball and 2 strikes the count on Cedar Rafaela. And a bouncer, easy hot, and a routine play for Guerrero, 2 down.
Well, here's another subtle detail by the man behind the plate. Watch the target of Alejandro Kirk. They want to go elevated fastball here. So he's down, but then look at this. He gets right up in his stance, really to accentuate that for his pitcher, to make sure you get it up in the zone. Where's he put it? Up in the zone, right where he wanted it. Gets a weak ground ball. Just helps the pitcher with his sight line, the visual that he's throwing to.
2 down for Wilyer Abreu, who lined out to center his first time up. A splitter bounced in by Woods Richardson. Some talk back when Woods Richardson was acquired, because the splitter's been hit really hard this year, that maybe they're tweaking a little bit. Maybe he goes back to a changeup as he drops a curveball in for a strike. But it does sound like there has been some behind the scenes work, both before he pitched as a Blue Jay and then in the 9 days since that one appearance. Pete Walker and company putting some work in and try to see if they can help him get back to where he has been at times in his big league career.
And I think first and foremost, we saw the numbers on the splitter there. He's got to keep the splitter out of the middle of the zone. Those are the ones that get hammered, and make sure they've got downward movement to these left-hand batters.
This is way inside, 3-1. He did face the Red Sox earlier this year, April the 15th, and in 5 innings gave up 6 earned runs on 10 hits. So not only have the Red Sox seen him this year, they've had success against him this year. This is in the air to left field. Schneider back, and he's got to turn and play it off the wall. And Abreu into second with a 2-out double.
Pretty good swing right there by a very good hitter in Abreu, and that's playing Fenway Park right there. You get a fastball up and out over the plate. Don't try to pull it. Go the other way, and just misses getting it out of here.
Here's Contreras. Grounded sharply to short. Jimenez has it, bounces it across to Guerrero. Vladdy liking the hop. He gave Guerrero a very good opportunity to make a play. They both did, and the inning is over. This Canada Day, the party starts in the outfield district. Whether it's the Catch Bar, TD Park Social, or any of the other social spaces, the outfield district has the perfect spot for everyone. Get first access to Canada Day outfield district tickets. Join District Drops by texting Canada to 25835. Well, I got to tell you, the football fans from Scotland have been having themselves a time here in Boston this week. I believe Scotland plays Morocco on Friday night in Foxborough, about 20 miles south of here. But there are all kinds of stories both around Fenway and around town about how much fun the Scottish folks have been having.
They make some noise too.
They make some noise.
You know when they're around. Outside the ballpark, inside the ballpark.
We have no idea if they understand any of the rules of baseball, but they're having the best time.
How can you not have fun at Fenway Park?
A ball and 2 strikes. The count on Alejandro Kirk. Bennett struck him out in the second. He has mixed very well against Kirk. Fastballs and changeups in that first at bat. Just throw him a pretty good curveball right there. When I asked Davis Schneider about him, because he had seen him in the minors, he said he's got a lot of pitches and he will use them all, and he's not predictable. And he gets Kirk again. Man, that's 5 strikeouts already.
It's a lot of forcing fastball up like we just saw. The sinker is away, and then of course the neutralizer is that changeup. Now he will mix in that little curveball on occasion, and it's just enough to keep him very unpredictable. Alejandro, that's uncharacteristic of him to be chasing up and out of the zone like that.
Ernie Clement struck out, showed some frustration after that strikeout back in the second. Went after a high fastball here, and it's 0-1. Appeal didn't go, and it's a ball and a strike. And a pop-up for the first baseman Contreras. That's the second out.
It is a tough pitch to get to, that four-seam fastball at the top of the zone, and Bennett has been executing it beautifully. Now you know when you're facing a guy like Ernie, he will chase, so just keep going up there. Got Kirk to chase on the swing and miss, got Ernie to pop up.
And as you said, because of the height and the extension, you should really almost add a tick or 2 to the number you see on the screen, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The delivery, the deception, there's so much going on. It's not just the number that we're seeing velocity wise.
Sanchez with a pop-up down the third base line, but beyond the reach of Kiner-Falefa in foul territory. IKF getting regular playing time. Trevor Story on the IL. Marcelo Myers moved to short. Usually IKF's at second, but he's at third tonight. Caleb Durbin getting a night off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's way in there.
That's a wow.
And that's a sinker. It's running in on his hands, but as a hitter, he committed to swing early, and it just kept coming. And he hit just above his hands.
And this is what we've seen him do more of lately. Take his shot, right? Like get after it early. Almost guess that he's going to get a fastball up. That will be caught by the shortstop Meyer out in shallow center. A nice play to take a bid for a base hit away from Jesus Sanchez. And Bennett has a 3-up, 3-down, top of the fourth. Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using code STRIKEOUT. Now, Blue Jay pitchers do not have a strikeout yet tonight, but they have combined Fisher and Woods Richardson to throw three scoreless innings so far. Woods Richardson to face Jarren Duran to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Duran, Yoshida, Kiner-Falefa, the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Boston lineup. Tried the curve again, but this time missed outside with it. Ball 2. You can see he gets that ball in a splitter grip before he puts it in his glove. Now he may change it in there, but I think every big leaguer who throws a splitter puts it puts the ball in a splitter grip. It's easier to move away from the splitter grip without telling everybody what you're doing than to get the ball into a splitter grip. That kind of makes it obvious you're really fidgeting around in your glove, and they might know it's coming. 4-pitch walk to Duran. And a guy with some speed down at first. Duran's 11 for 11 this year. Now Yoshida, the DH, he led off last night, went 1 for 5. And there's a strike, 0-1. Duran being held on by Guerrero. Not going, and it's a ball and a strike. By the way, the velocity for Woods Richardson on the four-seam fastball was higher than it normally was, normally has been for him this year. In his first outing as a Blue Jay, it averaged about 94. He's down a couple from that. He's down around 92 here tonight.
Got to be in the zone more, especially in this ballpark. You can't be issuing the free passes. Those are the ones that can come back to haunt you. Make them beat you with the bats.
Out in front, 1-2.
Yoshida, we saw them get him a few times last night with fastballs up in the zone.
Duran not going, and it's taken low.
See the body language from Woods Richardson, a little frustrated with himself, kicking the dirt, and he actually touched his own chest to Kirk to say, my bad, like I need to execute that pitch better. I wonder if they weren't trying to go upstairs.
He's in that long man role. Could be bulk, could be if they're up or down a bunch of runs, trying to prove himself to his new team. Duran running, and it hits him. The ball hits him. So Duran is going to be out. Yoshida will be credited with a base hit, and he'll be at first. But interested to get another look at that. Starting the runner would have prevented a double play. I think Clement would have gotten to the ball at second.
He never looked. You have to know where the baseball is on a baseball field. This is not acceptable at the major league level, that you're taking off trying to steal a base, no look, takes a very late peek at the baseball. By that time it's already hitting him. Lots of issues with the Boston Red Sox right now.
Yeah. So maybe a break. If the ball doesn't hit him, definitely a break. Even if Clement gets it, he's going to get an out at first there. He's not going to get Duran at second, but instead it's Yoshida at first, and he's a much slower runner than Duran. 2-0 on Kiner Falefa.
Yoshida owes Duran dinner now because he just got him a hit.
That's right.
Yeah, you just have to be more aware on the base pass. When you're running, you always have to know where the baseball is. And so many runners, they won't peek. And then not only could the ball hit you like that, but you know where it is in the outfield once it is hit.
So it is scored a base hit for Yoshida, and Duran is out 4 unassisted is the way that play is scored. 3-0. And to strike 3-1. Woods Richardson walked 1 in the second, has walked 1 here in the fourth. Fisher walked 2 in the first inning, but pitched around that. And he walks another one. First and second, 1 out. And here comes Pete Walker.
And I'm sure Pete Walker's message, it could be a stern one right here. Get back in the zone. You've got the bottom of the order here with a 2-0 lead at Fenway Park. This is the last thing we want to do approach-wise. Now, your pitcher's not trying to throw balls, of course, but you really need to lock in, and that might have a lot to do with Kirk. See, Pete directed at Kirk right there, and Alejandro might just have to set up middle. Don't try to be cute with corners or edges.
Get ready for epic action on the big screen this summer with Supergirl, starring Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa, in theaters June 26th.
Meeting over, Walker back in the dugout, first and second, one out, and this is the bottom of the order too. You got the 8 hitter up now, then the number 9 hitter Monasterio and Meyer, and the Blue Jays need some length out of Woods Richardson. If you're late joining us, Max Scherzer placed on the IL about 3 hours before the game. Braden Fisher opened with an inning and a third. Woods Richardson needed for bulk innings here tonight. They also do have Chad Dallas back on the roster. He made one outing for the Blue Jays a couple of weeks back when 3 2/3 gave up just 1 run. He was sitting in Buffalo at noon today, an hour before the Bison's game was to begin. And his assignment at that time was, you're going to come in after Shane Bieber. Bieber's going to go about 75 or 80 pitches and you'll be next. And he said, great. And then the phone rang and they said, get to the airport. And so he was in Buffalo, and he told us he brought his glove and cleats, right? He just grabbed what he had and
didn't want to check a bag.
Didn't want to check a bag. He brought the glove and the cleats, and he trusted that the Blue Jays had everything else he would need.
Might not have had time to check a bag.
But then it was funny. He talks like all of us do. He goes, yeah, the flight was on time and the Uber was quick, and and he got here in plenty of time. And now Pete Walker's made a phone call, so it looks like somebody is going to be getting up, and that somebody could be Chad Dallas. Now we're back 2-2 on Monasterio. A different looking version of Simeon Woods Richardson here tonight than in that first outing that he had against the Phillies, a very good team too, and he went 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, didn't walk a batter, struck out 3. He strikes out Monasterio here for the second out.
Well, he is continuing to really battle the strike zone, having all kinds of trouble. Goes upstairs here to get him. They've gotten a little help from the Red Sox number 8 hitter, and number 9 now is Meyer. Got a chance to wiggle out of this thing.
Two down, and now the number 9 hitter Marcelo Meyer. This feels like a big moment, still relatively early in this game. Ball 1. And that phone call was not for Dallas. It was for Mason Fluharty. And if you look at the Boston lineup, you can see the exact pocket where John Schneider would want to use Fluharty. Left-handed hitters hitting 3rd, 5th, and 6th in the Red Sox lineup. You just got to pick your spot. Do you do it early-ish, like 4th or 5th inning, or do you wait for maybe a leverage spot in the 7th or 8th inning when that part of the order is coming up?
Well, we could be getting into leverage very soon.
Yeah.
We're in a 2-0 ball game.
This is popped up, and Guerrero's got to play in foul territory, and Woods Richardson pitches out of it. End of 4, and it is still 2-0 Blue Jays. Are you a Rogers customer? It's Canada's winning inning. This inning, when the Blue Jays get a hit, you could win big with Rogers Beyond the Sea. And the way this guy is swinging it right now, you kind of got to like his chances here at Fenway Park. He has hit extremely well here in this series, and of course in the first series of his major league career, which was back in 2023. Now, had a bit of a drought between the two, but still the overall numbers are great.
Well, get that thing flowing again, Davis, and he's at it again, and that's good news for the Blue Jays and their offense. Davis Schneider hitting in a ballpark that is very friendly to him. I think this sets up for Davis. He's a pull hitter trying to get that ball in the air. The big green monster in left. Sometimes that can help a hitter's approach. Maybe zone in on the pitch that you can handle. to do the damage in the direction you want to do, and that green monster is just staring at him.
Takes it up and away, ball one. And a changeup in for a strike, 1-1.
That's the pitch that he does have to stay away from. He told me that ball away is not his area. Tough one.
Yep. That's where the lefty wants to throw the changeup to the right-handed batter, just a little down, a little away.
And you can see it just fading away from the righty.
Foul back a fastball to stay alive. I thought his interview with Arden after the game last night was great, where, you know, he talked about, I still get to play baseball even though it was at AAA. I got to play every day and I love the guys and I'm just trying to make my way back here. He's got a great attitude about it. He does not take anything for granted, not like he was a high draft pick. You know, at every level in the minors on the way up, there were doubters and there have been ups and downs, but when he is on, he's a big contributor for this team in an area where they need it. It's a two-hopper to Kiner-Falefa at third and out by a step.
He is a grateful young man that does not take this game for granted whatsoever. Sometimes he's hanging it over the green monster. Sometimes he's rolling over a ground ball, but that's the way he plays the game right there. Puts his head down, runs hard 90 feet.
One down, and here's Miles Straw, who struck out in the third. Broken bat, ground ball. Kiner-Falefa gets to it in a hurry. Two down.
Well, the changeup will go down and away, and the sinker will also go down and away. Good movement on this pitch. Use it off the end of the bat, and it just splits in two. Good hustle again by Straw. The ball got past the pitcher, but Kiner-Falefa was able to come and get it.
Man, that bat was sliced.
Gone. Off the end of the bat, and will do that a lot of times.
So Straw 0 for 2, and that'll bring up Andres Jimenez, who had an RBI single and then stole second and third in the third inning. The Blue Jays had a total of 4 stolen bases in the inning. He gets a bunt down, but it's foul. Not a bad idea.
Saw Andres doing this in batting practice today, but he was actually taking it with him to the first base side. And as I'm watching him, I'm thinking, second night in a row facing a left-hander, maybe he'll break it out. And he does there, but he opts to go down toward third with Kiner-Falefa way off the bag and back a bit.
By the way, the 4 stolen bases in an inning for the Blue Jays matches a franchise record, and it's the first time they've done it since 2018. That's a pitch we have seen him go after a fair bit this year and come up empty. That's a good pitch for him to take.
Yep, make it be down a little bit. He loves the heater, but make it be down.
Busy inning for IKF. He'll make all 3 plays, and the Blue Jays go in order. Still 2-0 they lead as we go to Jamie Campbell with an update. Folks, phase 1 voting for the 2026 All-Star Game in Philadelphia is open until June 25th, and fans can vote up to 5 times per day. 6 Blue Jays are currently either first or second of their respective positions, so keep the momentum going and cast your vote today at bluejays.com/vote. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who is the first to acknowledge he's not having the kind of season that he wants to have. He is the early leader at first base in the American League. Ernie Clement is the big leader at second base right now. When the results came out, he had more than triple the votes of Ezekiel Tovar of Texas, who's in second spot at second base.
This would be a good inning to set up in the middle of the plate and just try to throw fastballs down the middle. See, even Kirk's off the edge there. You're just off. He's off to the outer half of the plate. I'd rather see him just set up middle right here. Behind 2-0 again.
Top of the order, Gasper, Rafaela, Abreu. Fluharty is up in the bullpen again. Woods Richardson has gone 2 2/3 scoreless. Here's a high drive to deep right center. But look where he hit it, into the triangle, the deepest part of the park. And man, did that ever work out for Straw and the Blue Jays.
Well, Gasper not happy, but the lesson learned is don't fall behind all of these hitters, because now you got to come right in. Kirk with a better target there, trying to get him back on the plate. He got him back on the plate all right in the wheelhouse. But as I said earlier, make them beat you with their bats. A lot of room out there for Straw.
Now low ball one to say down to Rafaela. That pocket of lefties we told you about, it's coming next. Abreu, and then after Contreras, Duran and Yoshida, both lefties as well. And Fluharty getting hot in the pen. And another 2-0 count. And that's when Rafaela wants back. He can be a very aggressive hitter, and he went after a 2-0 slider that was way down.
Yeah, that's just doing a pitcher a big favor. A pitcher that's struggling to find the strike zone tonight. You do him a big favor, 2-0.
Two and two. That slider up, and a foul tip. And Rafaela flexing that left hand a little bit. So Woods Richardson, in spite of the walks and a little bit of hard contact, he has got 9 outs and he has not given up a run. Trying to get Rafaela. Popped up. Guerrero coming over and won't have a play. And giving Rafaela the stink eye over that. Let me make a play. I think it's good for him, given the struggles at the plate, that he still finds a way to have fun.
Yeah, we were talking to George a little bit about that today, just and how you handle yourself through struggles in this game. And I'm sure George has had it in his career, and his line was like, come to the park and have fun every day. You have to, because that's the only way you're going to get out of it.
A jam shot and over the head of Clement. And who's going to get to second? There are about 6 guys in the middle of the field right now to make sure Rafaela didn't get to second. So he ran back to first because there was nobody there. But that was a really interesting little sequence there. And now this is going to be all for Woods Richardson with that pocket of lefties coming up. There's the call to the bullpen. So Woods Richardson goes 3 innings and leaves a man on at first. Thanks his catcher. Makes his way off the mound, and Mason Fluharty makes his way in. Welcome back to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet, and welcome back to a Mason Fluharty appearance here in the bottom of the 5th.
Mason Fluharty leads the major leagues. This is his 39th appearance, and this is the pocket of hitters that we're expecting to see him. The tough Wilyer Abreu, then there's the right-handed Contreras, but then the lefty Jarren Duran. So this is the spot to try to keep this 2-0 lead.
The major league leader in appearances. He has been a very valuable piece of this bullpen this year. Maybe even more so now that they only have that he's the only lefty right now. And again, Adamaco could resurface. We'll see. Brendan Little is also a AAA, but right now Fluharty the lone lefty in the pen. Ground ball, foul. Trying to get the attention of Scott Berry, the home plate umpire. He wants a new baseball. Couple of days off for Fluharty and only 9 pitches on Sunday. Ground ball to the right side, a sliding stop. Clement recover the flip, but not in time. It bounced just far enough away from him, and he just could not get enough on the toss to beat Abreu.
Fluharty made a pretty good pitch. It's a sweeper away, got him out front to roll it over, but Ernie kind of surrounded it and gave credit for Abreu getting down the line.
Infield hit for Abreu. And now suddenly 2 men on. And the biggest power threat, Wilson Contreras at the plate. The one right-handed batter that John Schneider knew he needed to ask Mason Fluharty to face tonight. One and one. Good speed aboard for the Red Sox. Rafael at second, Abreu at first. Hit well, but slicing foul down the line. 1-2. This guy plays the game with an edge,
yes,
with an intensity. Ahead 1-2. Up and away. Spencer Miles is up. He last pitched on Sunday. After this pocket of lefties, if the inning is still going, looks like John Schneider will turn the ball over to Miles. And a big strikeout by Fluharty to get Contreras for the second out.
That is a big one, all right, against Contreras, who does a lot of damage against left-handed pitching. Mason moving the ball all around, keeps this cutter away from him.
It has been a frustrating couple of nights for Contreras. Now Fluharty against the left-hand hitting Jarren Duran. In the dirt for ball one. Two 2-0 Blue Jays, bottom 5 after a 6-1 win last night. You can see how the Red Sox have struggled in key spots here in this series. This is a story that I think everybody watching is very familiar with in terms of the Blue Jays. The Red Sox going through it to the same degree, at times even more. 1 for 12 last night and 0 for 7 tonight. Kirk wants an appeal, but no swing, and it's 3-0. Ball 4. So that will load him up for Masataka Yoshida. That's the 6th walk given up by the Blue Jay pitching staff tonight.
Playing with fire,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
This is a big at bat. He's not going to get the left-hander.
Kiner Falefa is the on-deck hitter. We'll see who comes out to hit for Yoshida. It's going to be Nate Eaton. Yeah, the right-hand hitting Nate Eaton. And now John Schneider has a decision to make because he's got his righty Miles up in the pen. Fluharty has already faced 3 batters. Is he in, says John Schneider? The answer is yes, and now the move will be made. So Chad Tracy brings in a right-handed hitting pinch hitter, and John Schneider's going to counter with Spencer Miles. The percentage play, to say the least. Big spot coming, bases loaded, 2 outs. So the role evolving for Spencer Miles, no longer the bulk guy, managing the innings a little bit more. Joe now shortening them up a little bit, and higher leverage is the higher priority.
Yeah, he came in relief of Patrick Corbett on Sunday against the Yankees, went 2 2/3 innings and threw 38 pitches, but there is a lot to like in Spencer Miles, one of the better rookie pitchers in the game. That whip of just over 1.
Big spot. Pete Walker urging him on. The bases are loaded for the Red Sox with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. And the batter is Nate Eaton. Comes off the bench to hit for Masataka Yoshida. Eaton just recalled from AAA a couple of days ago. Was down with Worcester for most of the year, where he hit .283. Spent a couple of years with the Royals and then part of last season with the Red Sox. The 0-1 from Miles. Right there for a strike, 0-2.
Spencer has the 4-seamer, the 2-seamer, curveball and slider, 2 breaking pitches.
Trying to get him to chase a high fastball. It's ball 1. Woods Richardson out of the game. Fluharty out of the game. Charles McAdoo between them. Miles trying to get out of this situation here. And a bouncing ball to Guerrero. The race is on, and Vladdy will win it. 3 unassisted on the putout to snuff out this thread with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th. A good play by Guerrero, and the Blue Jays still up 2-0.
Z is for Zepbound. A is for asking. To begin the conversation. Is Zepbound the right choice for you? Ask a doctor about Zepbound. Visit zepbound.ca for savings.
Top 6, and it is still 2-0. Spencer Miles got a ground ball, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. made a good play. He is not taking his struggles at the plate, Joe, out into the field with him.
And that's one thing you certainly like to see when the struggles are at the plate. You want to see people still play good defense, and that is certainly what the Blue Jays are doing, and Vladdy is doing, beating Nate Eaton to the bag right here.
Top of the order coming up here, top of the 6th. George Springer, then Guerrero, and then Kaz Okamoto. Springer struck out in the 1st, and then in the 3rd was hit by a pitch and stole 2nd and 3rd. 2nd on the back end of a double steal, and then after Jimenez came in to score, he stole 3rd. Springer's popped it up for Monasterio out in shallow right. Ooh. And that was not routine. He had to stagger to make that catch, but he hung with it and made the play.
Well, he was up there a long time, and it seemed like he was right under it until the very last split second.
Not a windy night at all. Doesn't look like it from the flags.
Got backpedaling a little bit out of control.
Here's Guerrero. who was 0 for 2, a couple of ground ball outs, did pick up an RBI in the third, cashing in Jimenez. Two and 0. Just 2 hits tonight so far for the Blue Jays. The Davis Schneider double and the Andres Jimenez single, both in the third inning. Bennett set down the Blue Jays in order in the first, the second, the fourth, and the fifth tonight. They haven't done anything against him except in that 1 inning when they scored the 2 runs. Little up and in, ball 3. There is activity in the Red Sox pen. Right-hander Tyrone Guerrero. Three and 2.
See Vladdy trying to come out of his shoes right there. I think one thing he is doing, he's gotten a couple pitches right in the heart of the plate tonight. That swing was a little bit different than the one he grounded out on in the first inning, but still not able to square it up. Looks like he's trying to stay behind it and elevate it.
Through the right side for a base hit. And Guerrero aboard with a 1 out in the 6th.
Well, once you get to 2 strikes, just try to do whatever you can, and that's that swing path that we know he has, working down to the baseball for the most part. Hits it right into right field.
And that's going to be all for Bennett. He will leave after 5 1/3. And Chad Tracy going to his bullpen here in the 6th inning with Okamoto and Kirk due up for the Blue Jays. 6'8" right-hander Tyrone Guerrero, 35 years of age. Prior to this year, hadn't been in the majors since 2019. Bounced through a bunch of different organizations, had pitched in Japan. How does that happen when a guy throws 100?
Well, we have seen what happens with guys that throw 100. Sometimes they don't necessarily know where it's going, and in this case, he's going to see a right-hander in Okamoto. Kirk following him, but it's a high-velocity sinker. It's going to be touching triple digits most likely.
And Okamoto was geared up for it, but couldn't square it up. 98 up at the top of the zone.
He's got a slider to go with that pitch, but he's going to have to stay on the fastball.
Now to play 0-2. Well, Guerrero was pitching in Japan last year. There's a very good chance that Kaz Okamoto has faced him and knows what he's dealing with here. Guerrero the lead with a 1 out, top 6. And he got him. Good breaking ball, a swing and a miss for out number 2.
Well, the command has not been an issue this season in his short stint with the Red Sox. Clearly his last stints in the major leagues, the walks were issues. Pretty good slider there to go with that high velocity sinker.
2 down for Kirk, who struck out in both of his at-bats against Bennett. 101 with a little leg kick at the end to accentuate it.
He's warming up.
Pitching has not been as big of an issue for the Red Sox's offense. Offense has been by far their bigger problem. There is the makings of a good pitching staff here. Jam shot to third. Kiner Falefa throws out Kirk. And the Blue Jays are retired, stranding the Guerrero base hit. It's on to the bottom of the 6th. Well, Tuesdays at the ballpark, they have never tasted better. June 23rd, a special time, 4:07 p.m. It's a special daytime edition of Looney Dogs Night presented by Schneider's. Get your tickets today at BlueJays.com/tickets. World Cup game in Toronto that night. That's why you've got an afternoon start on a Tuesday. It is 2-0 Blue Jays. Both runs back in the third, driven in by Jimenez and Guerrero, scored by Schneider and Jimenez. They're being out hit, but they're leading. And they've got Spencer Miles back on the mound after getting a very important out to leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the fifth. The question is, how far can he go? Again, the role is evolving. He threw 38 pitches on Sunday. I mean, John Schneider, if he could, I'm sure would love to get 2 innings out of him. Then you got Rogers Varland, but they want to be careful with Miles' arm, right? And not a lot of innings in recent years. Bottom of the order here, Kiner Falefa, Monasterio, and Meyer. Fastball for a strike. You like the idea of Miles, whether it's the 6th, 7th, 8th, 1 inning, 2 innings, just being
leverage,
kind of right, a high leverage utility guy, if you will.
Be Spencer Miles when there's leverage. Yeah, I think that's what he has earned, what we have seen. The stuff is great. I'll take him anytime in a close ball game like this if he can get you through the 6th.
Up the middle, a base hit on an 0-2 pitch for Kiner Falefa. Down to the field, here's Arden.
We got a minor transaction for the Blue Jays tonight as the club has traded Tyler Heineman to the Los Angeles Angels in exchange for cash considerations. That tells us Heineman was likely to be claimed on waivers after he was DFA'd, so the Angels stepped up, worked out a deal for the Blue Jays. Willie McIver is now the 3rd catcher on the 40-man roster behind Alejandro Kirk and Brandon Valenzuela.
Arden, thank you. A risk the Blue Jays knew they were taking, that they could very well and were likely, in fact, to lose Heineman. Runner going, throw down by Kirk, and Kiner Falefa has his 2nd stolen base of the night.
Well, not quite seeing that arm strength back from Alejandro Kirk. Pretty good jump off Miles, but Alejandro not getting lots on his throws. Red Sox taking advantage of that.
Kiner Falefa's had a good night. 2 walks, a hit, and 2 stolen bases. Fouled off by Monasterio. So this was the risk the Blue Jays knew they were taking, but Brandon Valenzuela has played so well, they just couldn't send him down. So instead they DFA Heineman. The Blue Jays and Angels work out a deal, and I know you will echo the sentiment of, we wish Tyler Heineman all the best.
Absolutely.
Yep, go play and have a good rest of the season. The Angels obviously not a team that is going anywhere right now, but we'll see how often he gets to play. 34 years of age, and just trying to stay in the big leagues as long as he can.
Tyler Heineman is a very good big league backup catcher. He's ideal. That's what you want behind the plate. What you get offensively is just a bonus. He enjoyed some success last year, not so much this year, but he can handle the pitching staff. We've seen him throw very well. Does a good job behind the plate.
Strike 3 called. Monasterio frozen. Out number 1.
Here's that sinker from Miles. It's up in the zone, and he'll often use that. Up in the zone. Kirk set up inside, pulled it a little bit. 98 miles per hour.
Number 9 hitter Marcelo Meyer 0 for 2. A look back and the 0-1, and that's called strike 2. And we continue to see sinkers up at the top of the strike zone.
And it's a funny pitch because he gets good movement on the pitch, some downward movement, some run, but from his arm angle at the top of the zone, just a tough look for hitters. It's like Kirk, he wants this one down. Decoy. Seeing Alejandro do this sometimes because he wants the breaking ball bounced in the dirt. Say, hey, make sure get it down here, but that's a little decoy this time. And that's what you have to do. If you're going to do that in plain sight with everyone, you got to make sure you decoy once in a while too.
Runner at second, 1 out. And the count now 1-2. Too high again. Goes to the curveball, but Meyer fouls it off to stay alive.
Meyer is the type of guy you probably want to get out with that breaking ball. See if he doesn't come back with another one. Despite his fastball being so good.
That one sails up and away. 3-2. And when that happens, you will not use that baseball again. That one will be hit during BP tomorrow. Crowd getting a little noisier here at Fenway right now with the Red Sox threatening. The 3-2. Inside for ball 4.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
2 on with 1 out. And the Scottish baseball fans continue to make their presence felt. Red Sox have a whole new fan base a couple of weeks with the World Cup going on here. Here's Mickey Gasper, who hit one over 400 feet his last time up, but he hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, and Miles Straw went back to make the catch. Right in there. Very similar to the one Andres Jimenez hit last night, but Jimenez pulled it just enough that it wound up in the bullpen. And another high drive, but this one very playable. Medium depth center. Straw makes the catch. 2 down.
Straw throwing that ball into second base just in case Kiner Falefa wants to tag and go to third. He knows that he wants to keep that tying run at first base. He would have given Kiner Falefa the 90 feet to third.
Pete Walker on his way out to the mound. With Cedar Rafaela at the plate, and it looks like the bullpen is going again. Jeff Hoffman has just gotten up.
Well, Rafaela having a very good, nice season for the Red Sox, and he is one of the bats in this lineup along with Abreu and Contreras. This is the part of the order that you have to really be careful with. I think the big thing here is staying away from Rafaela. Nothing middle in that he can pull. Stay out there with that sinker. Stay out there with his breaking balls.
At second, Kiner Falefa. At first, Meyer. 2 down. The Red Sox have been stranding runners tonight like crazy. Blue Jays have walked 7 in this game, but the Red Sox still haven't scored. And the Red Sox are also out hitting the Blue Jays tonight. Oh, 0-1.
Sinker in. They wanted to go in.
And a weak ground ball to first. Guerrero to Miles in time. 2 more men stranded. The Red Sox have left a dozen on through 6, and it's still 2-0. Build your own Blue Jays buddy piece by piece with a Potato Head specialty ticket. On June 25th, specialty ticket purchasers will receive a Blue Jays Potato Head. Buy your specialty tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Blue Jays winning last night, leading tonight as pitcher after pitcher after pitcher for the Blue Jays has managed to get out of jams. The Red Sox went 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position last night. They're 0 for 11 tonight and have stranded a dozen runners through 6. A dozen. Ernie Clement, the batter, and a slider from Tyron Guerrero in for a strike. Clement, Sanchez, and Schneider. Foul ball up the third baseline. It's 0-2. Had a good grab down the line.
Defensively for the Red Sox tonight. Clean pick. She thought nothing of it. Another day at the office.
Yep. Clement called out on strikes. And again, that disappointed walk back to the dugout. It's been a tough couple of nights here for Ernie so far here in Boston.
You see a pitch like that, it's almost as though Ernie wanted to challenge, but he just kind of gave it one of those right on the edge, and he kind of knew it, I think.
Now Jesus Sanchez, who's going to squeak one down the third baseline. And on his way to second with a double.
That's how you hit a 100-mile-per-hour sinker. Get it going early. He just squibbed that. Tucked it just inside that third base bag.
You know, if you're a Red Sox fan, you got to be saying to yourself, I mean, Mickey Gasper hit that one 8 miles before, and it was caught in right center, and that's a double. Baseball. Here's Davis Schneider. Schneider 1 for 2, doubled and scored in the third, and his was no squeaker down the line. It was a line drive into the left center field gap off the monster on a bounce. Schneider has 5 hits in his last 3 games, and 4 of them are extra base hits. 2 doubles, 2 homers. And boy, is this a down-to-earth guy. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but you and I and Shai Davidi and Arden Zwelling all had about a 10-minute conversation with Schneider about all kinds of different things, some baseball related, some not. What a down-to-earth young man he is.
Very grateful young man.
Yeah.
Talked about that a little bit after the game last night. It always came back to grateful for this opportunity. Regardless of how bad things were, you go down to AAA, grateful for this opportunity. And now he's back in the big leagues, helping the big league club.
Jeff Hoffman has been throwing, still on the mound. We'll see how it plays out bottom half. You know, interesting too, John Schneider could have gone to a Lucas or a Pinango here, but leaving Schneider in to face the righty, rewarding him, I think, for the good at-bats that he's had. Lucas is coming in defensively at some point if they're leading, but he's probably coming in for Sanchez. He's not coming in for Schneider.
Yeah, he may be coming in after Sanchez comes in here.
Right.
Well, we have seen Davis have success against right-handers too. It's not just the lefties, and when he's right, he's doing it against the righties on the mound as well.
He's worked Guerrero to a full count. And it's just low, but we've got a challenge.
Pitcher's called the ball, he catches challenging.
This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers. Did he catch the bottom of the zone? He did.
That was overturned. It is a strike. Also remains no challenges.
And a slump of the shoulders from Schneider as he is called out on strikes.
It's almost as though he knew he could be in trouble, but you just can't wait to see it up on the board. You just hope that baseball is missing the zone, but that reaction says it all.
2 down. Miles Straw with a bouncer to short, and the Sanchez double is stranded. 7th inning stretch in Boston, still 2-0. Well, the NBA draft is coming up. The future of the league is about to arrive. Round 1 of what is expected to be a loaded NBA draft. Just an outstanding freshman class last year in college basketball. Many of them have declared. It goes Tuesday night. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet. The Raptors hold the 19th pick in the first round. 2-0 Blue Jays going to the bottom of the 7th. Everybody enjoying the 7th inning stretch here at Fenway Park. It is a vibe here. Even when the team is not good, you and I were walking on the concourse about an hour and a half before the game, and it is a vibe always at Fenway. Here's Jeff Hoffman.
Hoffman pitched a scoreless inning last night, continuing to get lots of swing and miss, lots of chase. The stuff has been really good, and he's being called upon for thick part of the order right here. 3, 4, 5, starting with Wilyer Abreu.
Abreu, Contreras, Duran. Abreu 2 for 3 with a single and a double. And a fastball away for ball 1. Nathan Lucas now in right, taking the place of Jesus Sanchez. Yeah, this is a little different than how John Schneider has done it recently. Normally, Hoffman's been getting more the middle to bottom part of the order. You know, could have gone Tyler Rogers to Hoffman to Varland, but putting Hoffman in against 3, 4, 5. Hoffman's had 4 straight scoreless appearances, including one last night. Fouls back a fastball, 2-2. Using his timeout, get his batting gloves sorted out here. Line foul.
Just out front of that splitter. Good location though from Hoffman. Just down below the zone.
Mostly fastball splitter to lefties, mostly fastball slider to righties. And he will throw that 2-seamer, the sinker, in on righties every now and again. It remains 2-2 on Abreu. And another one fouled off. 97 on that pitch.
Made some really good adjustments. The first 2 pitches this at bat, he missed arm side away, but he's really made the adjustment to come back onto the plate. That one right on the edge.
Quickly gathers in the sign from Kirk. And there's the first slider of the at bat, and it's fouled off. Abreu hanging in there. Here comes pitch number 8. Bounced it in, and it's full. A ground ball to Guerrero, who's been a busy man tonight. Makes another play, 1 down. I hope that's not a sign of things to come tomorrow afternoon.
You're trying to forecast. I know you've been looking.
It's a little dicey tomorrow. Hopefully they'll get it in before the Blue Jays head off to Chicago. Pretty cool road trip. 3 at Fenway, 3 at Wrigley. Easily the 2 oldest ballparks in the major leagues. And even the big league ball players who have been around a while think it's pretty cool to play in these 2 parks back to back.
And of course all of the young ones. Pretty cool to see these 2 grand old ballparks on the same road trip.
Fenway opened 1912, Wrigley opened in 1914. And it's great when you get to go to Wrigley late enough into the season that the ivy is there. You go there in April, it doesn't really look like Wrigley that much.
I think a lot of the young players will reflect and say, you know, when you're a baseball fan as a kid and then you're growing up, and even when you're playing professionally in the minor leagues but not having been here, you see it on TV all of the time.
And Contreras is going to squib one into right for a base hit. His first hit of the series.
Well, Jeff knows all about that. He has had some tough luck at times, and this is a slider that Contreras pulls off of, cues it off the end of his bat. But past Vladdy, lots of room over there. And the reason he is way off the line at first base is because that was very unlikely to go between the line and Vladdy.
So the tying run comes to the plate. Jarren Duran 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. And Hoffman jumps out in front. Remember, no Yoshida on deck. He was lifted for a pinch hitter, Nate Eaton, in the 5th inning, and there are no left-handed bats available on Chad Tracy's bench. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Well, we talked about the swing and miss that Hoffman gets. You've got a hitter at the plate that has a lot of swing and miss in his game. Good matchup if you make a pitch. No need to throw him a strike.
Splitters on each of the first 2 pitches of this at bat. Contreras the lead. And the 0-2 fouled off. Again, trying to keep that splitter away from Duran. On the outside corner, maybe even a little bit off the outside corner. It's funny how different, like the Hoffman splitter, the Gausman splitter, the Savage splitter, they're all different.
Yeah, and for Jeff, I think what you just said, away is number 1, and then down also, because you will get chase from Duran.
0-2 again. Muscles up on a fastball at 98. Duran fouls it back.
And that's okay. That's a good different look after all those splitters. Elevate, change the eye level, go with the velocity. You see that difference? He tracked a fastball, now up in the zone. So we don't go right back down with the splitter. Doubling up.
And missed very high, ball 1. Contreras took a very aggressive secondary lead there. He is not really a base stealing threat, and the tying run is at the plate, so he does not figure to be going anywhere. 1-2. Oh, and in and out of the mid of Kirk, or Hoffman would have had him.
Great location. It's exactly what you're talking about, down and away. Just can't hang on. He'll take a couple more down there, though, if he can get him there. Good spots against Duran.
The 1-2 again. And that splitter wound way up, way on the inside corner.
He pulled that and yanked it across.
He's about to throw pitch number 20. And it's fouled out of play by Duran. Let's give him some credit for what he's doing in this at bat. Like the last splitter in was not where Hoffman wanted it, but the vast majority of the pitches he's making have been good pitches where he wants to put them.
He's all over the edges of the plate, not leaving much in the middle at all.
But having trouble putting him away. The 1-2 yet again. Bounced in, 2-2.
Went to the slider that time.
First one of those he has shown Duran. The crowd gaining steam here, pitch by pitch a little bit, about to see the 10th pitch of this at bat. And a ground ball to second. Clement, Jimenez, and no chance to turn two on Duran, but they do get the lead runner in the second out.
Nice play by Clement, making sure of getting one out, and it was the lead out. You know you're not turning two with Duran running there, so don't even try to rush things. Nice pivot. Give Jimenez a good toss. Make sure you get one.
And again, you want to talk about a catcher who's been around and understands what's going on. Hoffman needed a break after that at bat, and this is a well-timed mound visit here by Kirk.
10 pitches to Jarren Duran. Catch your breath, reevaluate how you're going about eating right here.
That's Tyler Rogers. In case the pitch count gets too high, in case Hoffman can't finish this inning, Rogers is almost always a clean inning guy. No more, no less. But up now, in case his services are needed here in the 7th, it'll be Hoffman to face Nate Eaton, again batting in Yoshida's spot after pinch hitting for him in the 5th. Down and away with a slider for ball one. Eaton is a .231 career hitter in 115 big league games over parts of 4 years. 2-0. Stays with the slider, gets a ground ball. Jimenez to Guerrero in time. Hoffman had to throw a lot of pitches, but got the 3 big outs. And at the end of 7, it's still 2-0 Blue Jays. And time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie and Madison. Fans, you could win a once-in-a-lifetime trip to see polar bears at Hudson Bay. That's just one of 4 amazing prizes up for grabs during the Canada Day jackpot from Jays Care. If you're in Alberta, Ontario, New Brunswick, or Nova Scotia, join in now at bluejays.com/5050. Well, the Blue Jays got 2 runs in the top of the 3rd, and that is it so far. They still lead 2-0. Going to the bottom of the 8th, one of the big stories has been, again, all the missed opportunities by the Red Sox, who have left 13 men on base through 7 innings. Here's Greg Weissert.
Weissert pitched a perfect inning last night. He came in and At the top of the order, Springer, Clement, and Vladdy. He'll get Springer and Vladdy again.
First, Andres Jimenez, who had an RBI single in the third, then stole a couple of bases and scored a run. He grounded out in the fifth. Bounces it foul past Mark Budzinski. It remains 0-2. Little insurance wouldn't be the worst thing here at Fenway Park.
Always could use an extra run or two.
Takes it away for ball one.
Weissert throws a wide variety of pitchers for a relief pitcher. A lot of the four-seam sink, sweeper, and changeup. He also mixed in a slider, a curveball.
And Jimenez has his second hit of the game. He's had a great couple of nights here. It's 4 for 7 in the series now.
Low arm angle too from Weissert, and that sweeper comes right into Jimenez, lining it into right field.
Here's Springer. Remember, Jimenez already has 2 stolen bases tonight. As Springer takes a strike. George is 0 for 2, also hit by a pitch, and he has stolen a couple of bases. All 4 of those steals came back in the third inning. Not going. And a swing and a miss, 0-2. George getting used to a new bat. He hit career home run number 300 last night. And Mustafa Hassan, the manager of home clubhouse operations, took the bat from George for safekeeping. He wanted it. He wanted George to have it as a keepsake. George got the baseball. We asked him, how'd you get it? You hit it out of the ballpark. Like it wound up on Lansdowne Street. He said, I literally have no idea. But he got the baseball last night, posed for a picture, and then Mustafa Hassan, affectionately known as Moose to everybody, said to George, give me that bat. I don't want you breaking that bat. So George is getting used to a new one tonight. And he liked that bat.
And that was based on a little experience, right?
Yeah.
He told us his 250th homer.
Right.
He didn't do anything with it, but he kept using it, broke it a few days later, so he's got it on the shelf. But there's the baseball.
There it is. Look at that smile.
Well, 300 home runs. I'd be smiling too.
And I think the lesson we learned, and we love Moose. When Moose tells you to do something, like
here it is,
the guys listen.
Yep.
George, give me this, give me the gloves, give me the bat.
He got them all, didn't he? Take his shoes,
he took
and
everything.
Gloves.
He is saving George from himself.
Well, you don't really want a bat hanging on your wall at home or on your mantle, whatever George's going to do to it. Broken.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Right.
300th home run, you got a broken bat. That just doesn't make sense. But it's also tough to not use it anymore.
Yeah, it is.
That's your gamer.
Moose has been at this for a while, though. He's been doing this for the guys for a while, and he knows what he's doing, and they listen to him.
Let the professionals do their job, George.
The lead by Jimenez. He's running. It's ball 3. The throw down is not in time. So it's a full count on Springer. They appeal down to first, no swing. So it is ball 3, and it's the 3rd stolen base of the night for Jimenez.
That was a little tougher one too, because Weissert does a decent job getting the ball to the plate, but Gasper had a tough pitch to handle. Glove side, you've got to catch it to your left, bring it across your body. Takes a little extra time, and those fractions of seconds are critical at second base.
A healthier Jimenez, stealing more bases this year. Springer, line drive, right field. Jimenez back to tag. Abreu the catch. got a very good arm, but the throw's offline, and Jimenez slides into third.
Well, good at bat by George and good read by Jimenez to get back to that second base bag and advance 90 feet. You said it, very good arm in right field, but the throw is offline, and Jimenez definitely challenging him. Now he's 90 feet from that insurance run you talked about.
And now the Red Sox bring the infield in for Guerrero. A little pop-up, shallow right. It's dropping and in there. And Vladdy will take it. It's a bloop RBI single to bring in Jimenez and make it 3-0.
Nobody said it had to be pretty. Just cash in that run, and Vladdy did it again. He did it earlier with a ground ball. This time it's a jam shot, but with the infield in, gets it just over the head of Monasterio at second.
Now Okamoto. You know, the stolen base was huge, and I want to make a point about Jimenez. Remember all the leg injuries he had last year. He stole 12 bases last year. The year before that and the year before that, he stole 30. He's now got 10 this year. We'll see what the final number is. But we talk about his glove, obviously, his defensive ability. His legs are a part of his game offensively, and his legs created that run.
Absolutely, and it's about being smart as well. Picking your spots, knowing the guys you can steal off of. That's one thing the Blue Jays are doing this year. They're efficient with their stolen base attempts. You don't just run for the sake of running.
They have stolen 33 bases. That is 26th in the majors, but they have only been caught 8 times. And a swing and a miss and a pitch down at his knees. Okamoto strikes out for out number 2. So now Kirk, who is 0 for 3. We talked about all the different pitches Weissert has, and he turns his back on you at the beginning. He probably hides the ball very well. He's tough.
Low arm angle.
Yeah.
Pretty much sidearm.
He's what you call a max effort guy on the mound, too. He's grunting pretty good out there. Having pitched last night and tonight, this almost certainly takes him out of the equation for the day game tomorrow.
Very durable, too. His note since 2024, tied for 8th in the American League. This is his 165th appearance. Very reliable.
Grounded right up the middle and met at the bag by Monasterio. The side is retired, but the Blue Jays add a run. And Andres Jimenez, a big part of it again. It's 3-0. To the bottom of the 8th, in front of another enthusiastic crowd here at Fenway. The Red Sox struggles this year notwithstanding. It's 3-0 Blue Jays. They just tacked on a run in the top half of the inning. And as we continue to zoom in from the camera in center field, you'll see where we are. There we are. We're up pretty high here, but it is a great spot. You're not going to wave with me? You won't wave? There you go.
You're waving.
I'm
they
waving.
can see
You
us.
can wave. There we are. You and I have talked a lot last couple of days. This is one of the best places to broadcast a baseball game in the Major League.
It is a lot of fun. I've got a real soft spot for the old ballparks. You know how much I love Tiger Stadium. Right behind it, when I got a chance to play at Fenway Park and then at Wrigley Field, 2 of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. And you got a mix of Red Sox fans, Blue Jays fans, Scottish soccer fans, Norwegian soccer fans. It is a real melting pot here at Fenway this week. It's a lot of fun. We love coming here. You know, one of the cool parts is Tyler Rogers takes the man on the bottom of the 8th for the Blue Jays. So the visiting team is on the third base side of the field, and the tunnel, you go down some stairs into the tunnel and then up some stairs to get to the field. That's the same tunnel that visiting players walked out of over a century ago. Kiner Falefa, a roller to second. Like Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth walked through that same tunnel and walked out onto the field over 100 years ago. And I promise you folks, they have not done a lot of
renovations.
It has retained its it has retained its qualities. They've updated the dugout a little bit, but it's cramped and small, and but it's great. It's just so cool.
And when I go back to my roots in Tiger Stadium, same thing. That dugout, everybody says you have to bump your head on that dugout because it's the same dugout that Ty Cobb bumped his head on. These old ballparks, there's just so much. How's that for tradition?
The hand operated that part of the scoreboard, operated manually. It's not digital. I know eventually, I guess it has to happen, but I can't imagine a world where Fenway Park and Wrigley Field are replaced. Or I just can't.
Just keep refurbishing.
I can't compute that. That's just low, and it's 3-0 on Monasterio. Rogers, the 6th pitcher of the night, a bullpen game tonight after Max Scherzer went on the IL. Braden Fisher went an inning and a third. Simeon Woods Richardson gave up 3 hits and 3 walks, but no runs in 3 innings. Mason Fluharty a third of an inning. Miles an inning and a third. Hoffman an inning, and now Rogers giving up a 1-out hit in the bottom of the 8th.
Just a different feel to this game, even from last night. Last night, the bats really came around, had the back-to-back homers, the great at-bat by Straw George with his 300th. And then tonight, it's like there hasn't been a whole lot of offense. They've pecked away. They scored a couple early. Now they add on, and the pitching has just been a piecemeal thing, trying to put this thing together. But they keep putting up zeros.
Number 9 hitter Marcelo Meyer. Rogers out in front 0-1 on a sinker right at the bottom of the zone. Both teams with both of their ABS challenges remaining this late in the game. A chopper to third, fair ball. Okamoto, long throw, and he gets him. A good play by Kazuma Okamoto for the 2nd out.
Okamoto has done a nice job around that third base bag, and he knows that he's got to hurry. It's not hit very hard, but he surrounds that baseball, plants his feet, and gets a good, strong, accurate throw off to first base.
No bounce on that one, no tail, right on the money to Guerrero. Runner to second, 2 down. Okamoto keeping an eye on Monasterio, and the batter is Mickey Gasper. 0-1. And another play for Okamoto, and he'll make this one as well. I think there is the call from the first base umpire, Manny Gonzalez. Wanted to make sure of it. Will the Red Sox contemplate a challenge here? They have said no. He spins, he fires, and he gets some help from Guerrero on the other end. 3-0 at the end of 8. Final game of the series is a day game tomorrow. Blue Jay Central gets you started at 1 o'clock Eastern time. The first pitch at 1:35, and a good pitching matchup. Sonny Gray for the Red Sox and Trey Savage for the Blue Jays. 3-0 Blue Jays, top 9. As the festive nature of this mix of baseball and soccer fans here at Fenway, I think some of the Red Sox fans might have filed out. I don't think the soccer fans have gone anywhere tonight.
This is party central.
I mean, they've got like 4 or 5 days between matches for their team, and they are making the most of it. Here's left-hander Danny Coulombe on the mound for Boston.
Coulombe's been doing this a long time. In his 12th season, he's pitching for his 6th team. Tough one so far this year in his 20 games at ERA up over 5.5.
Ernie Clement to lead it off. And a first pitch swing and a pop-up shallow center. In comes Rafaela. Louis Varland is up. He got a 4-out save last night through 19 pitches. John Schneider asking for 3 outs here tonight. So it's a conversation for tomorrow. But Hoffman, Rogers, Varland all pitching 2 in a row. But you got to win the games in front of you. This is a close game. You need your guys.
Go Trey.
Go Trey.
Trey Savage trying to lock it back in after a couple of rough ones.
Nathan Lucas getting his first at bat. Came on bottom of the 7th defensively for Jesus Sanchez. Coulombe's got some funky stuff. Stuff moves a little bit differently than maybe you think it's going to move. But as you say, he's been doing this for a long time.
And he's put a nice career together. One of the better left-handed relievers for the last handful of years. .269 ERA. It ranks 5th among left-handers in ERA since 2022. Not overpowering at all, as we have seen here.
This is the kind of guy, if the Red Sox don't make a real run and kind of get back into it, and he's not making a lot of money, but he's 36 years old and on a 1-year deal. This is the kind of guy a contending team picks up at the deadline.
Yeah, if he's pitching well, you've got a shot. He sinks it, he cuts it. Little sweeper, curveball.
Lucas lines it to left field. It's a base hit.
That is such a good feeling to come into the game as a defensive replacement. You get your at bat and you get a knock the other way. All in a day's work, Nathan. Left on left.
A 1-out single. And that'll bring up Davis Schneider. Doubled and scored in the 3rd. He is 1 for 3. By the way, it's the big boys coming up for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 9th. They're 2, 3, 4 hitters. Rafaela, Abreu, Contreras, Duran, if anybody reaches. Varland on the mound, warming up for the Blue Jays out in the bullpen. I don't know if it's Red Sox fans or if they are teaching the Scottish soccer fans the Yankee cheer that they like to say here at Fenway Park.
Not fans of the Yankees, I think.
Way inside, ball 2.
See if Davis can't get something center cut here.
And get it in the air to the pull side.
Yes.
Well, he got it in the air to the pull side, but too much to the pull side.
He tried. That was a little cutter. I talk about Coulombe and how he sinks it, he cuts it, and that's that cutter that came in so far. Tough to keep that one fair.
Now the 2-1. Popped up back of the plate. Gasper has room and made the catch for the 2nd out. Well, you're on an absolute island as a catcher when that kind of ball goes up in the air.
Yeah, especially when it's behind the plate. You know you're the only ones. You better make sure you've got it surrounded. Do not over pursue.
Miles Straw 0 for 3. 2-0. Lucas the leadoff first, being held on by Contreras. It's ball 3. And Miles Straw will be very selective going forward in this at bat. Taking all the way, he looks at strike 1. Upset with himself that he swung at that. 3-2. That ball was down. You can see that little shake of the head. He knows just get on base, get a runner into scoring position, get the next guy up, but he went after it.
Especially when that next guy is Andres Jimenez.
Lucas will be on the move here. There he goes, and it's yanked to left field for a base hit. Duran's got to play it off the wall. Straw into second, Lucas into third. Well, Miles was unhappy he didn't walk, but he did even better than that by eventually doubling.
Well, Miles drills this ball into the left field corner. This is the type of play I thought maybe Carlos Fabulous, the third base coach, might wave Lucas home. Look at the throw. The throw goes to second base. So we've seen third base coaches before just continue the windmill and wave him home. Does not take the chance there. Blue Jays got a couple in scoring position.
And a meeting on the mound to have a conversation here about Andres Jimenez, who is all of a sudden red hot right now. He is 4 for 7 in this series. Had a double and a homer last night. He's got 2 singles and 3 stolen bases tonight.
Well, you made a good point about his legs, though. If he can turn into this kind of player again, where he is a threat on the bases as well, just another dimension to his game.
Lucas down the line at third, Straw the runner at second. They're in on the corners for Jimenez, back up the middle, and it's ball 1.
Interesting to have the corners in with 2 outs. I don't know, they don't want to get beat with the bunts, but see if Andres can't just hit one past the first baseman.
One and one. One and two. And if the Blue Jays can add on, John Schneider might try to get Tommy Nance into this game to try to save Louis Varland, not have to use him if the score increases by a certain amount.
One swing of the bat could do that.
But it is not to be here this inning as Jimenez strikes out. A couple of men left stranded, and it is going to be Varland to try to bring it home for the Blue Jays for the second night in a row. Bottom of the ninth here at Fenway. It is 3-0 Blue Jays trying to make it 2 in a row over the Red Sox. 2 in the third, 1 in the eighth. And on this bullpen night, Louis Varland will become the 7th pitcher of the ball game for the Blue Jays.
Louis came on last night to finish off the 8th inning, then completed the 9th for his 13th save of the season. It was the top of the order. Last night it was Yoshida, but he gets Rafaela again. Got him to fly out last night to right field.
And he'll see a lot of the same hitters he saw a night ago. Rafaela 1 for 4 tonight. Way late on 99, and it's 0-2. 8 pitches, and he puts them away.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Louis Varland. He's just raring back. 3-run lead. Here it is. Hit it if you can.
I mean, what a trade this is turning into.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Said Captain Obvious.
But remember when you heard about the trade,
Yeah.
and then you heard the name Louis Varland, you're kind of like, wow.
Yeah.
How'd they get him?
Remember a few days ago we asked John Schneider about it, and he said he knew all about Varland before the trade. He was told they were trying to get him. He was excited about it. He was a guy he had admired from afar. Not as much when Louis was a starter with Minnesota. The stuff wasn't this when he was a starter. But as soon as he went into the bullpen, Schneider was like, wow. And then he said, and this is interesting, he said one of the things that happens is the guys come back into the dugout who have faced Louis Varland,
Yes.
and he's hearing Blue Jay hitters talk about that guy. And then they traded for that guy.
Hitters will give you a lot of information.
Boy, he's not messing around tonight, is he? Inside at 100, it's 1-2.
He's not looking fatigued from
No,
last
he
night's
is not.
4-out save either.
There were bigger names out there as relievers, but what a find. The changeup to get him for out number 2.
That's unfair. What a pitch by Varland, and it's been such a big pitch for him against left-handed hitters this season. You've got to guard against the triple digits, then he drops the changeup on you. They can be 93, 95, but great location.
2 down in the 9th inning, and here's Wilson Contreras. He went around, says Manny Gonzalez. It's 0-1. Contreras doesn't agree. Oh, and 2. This is peak Louis right now. Got him. Louis Varland dominates the Red Sox here in the bottom of the 9th inning, striking out the side on 10 pitches. And the Blue Jays make it 2 in a row here at Fenway Park.
They did it a little differently tonight compared to last night, but they just scratched and clawed for a few of those runs. Not as many hits, not as much action on the base pass, but a bunch of pitchers, 7 of them, continued to put up zeros. Braden Fisher started it as the opener, and Louis Varland finished it off.
The Blue Jays now back within 2 of the 500 mark, and tomorrow afternoon with Trey Savage on the mound, they will try to sweep the Red Sox. The final score, the Blue Jays 3 and the Red Sox nothing. Time now for Sportsnet Central, brought to you by KS.